Dr. Mike, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Dr. Mike, you are a gifted and 2E expert in your professional life, but what
hmm
some of our audience may not know is that you're also the parent of 4 gifted and 2E kids who,
hmm
spoiler alert, have all successfully now entered young adulthood. Is that correct?
That is correct.
This is great to hear, especially now during college admission season when a lot of our 2E students and parents may be feeling a little extra anxious about the
hmm
future. And I think they might feel very reassured to learn that your family tried many different school solutions, including traditional school, homeschooling, unschooling, depending on what each kid needed. When we talk about student needs, it's really easy for schools and parents to focus on how to support weaknesses, right? Like that's the
hmm
first thing we see. That's where all of our attention
hmm
tends to go. What role do strengths and interests and passions play in that journey?
Well, they play a very significant role because if we use a deficit model to teach our kids, especially that are kids that are intellectually gifted in that sense, it's like playing the record over and over and over again, right? If I focus on what I'm not good at every day, day in and day out, I'm not going to have a very good idea of who I am. My metacognition will be pretty poor, and I'm not getting the skills that I need to be successful. So when we look at their strengths and their passions and their interest and use those strengths, right, to help with some of the issues, right? So we focus on the strengths. Okay, if I'm really, and now I have great number sense, I'm really good with mathematical equations, except I can use that thematically to help with some of the other areas that may not be so strong, right? But when I focus on the strengths, I'm focusing what their child is good at. I'm building confidence so that they can in turn understand, yeah, there's still some issues here that need to be worked on, but it builds that confidence to be able to tackle those issues, right? And then the other piece we have to forget is that our kids can learn at a very rapid pace. So even when we're dealing with weaknesses, right, they can learn through their weaknesses at a more rapid pace than other typical kids that may be in that particular classroom. So once again, it's a very different approach, right? But focusing on the strengths allows the kids to grow into themselves metacognitively so that they can start to see the whole picture and understand, yes, there's some needs here too. You know, maybe I have ADD and I'm a little bit impulsive, struggle with concentration, right? Have a little bit of low cognitive tempo. Okay, I can understand that. But when I'm challenged, right, and am working where I need to be working at, I can adapt that lack of concentration into more of a flow of instruction and a flow of learning as I go, right? And it's a process. Of course, it's developmental. When they're in kindergarten, it's very different than when they're in middle school, which is very different than when they're in high school and beyond, right? So the approaches are very different. But once again, if we use a deficit-based model and we keep reminding them of their weaknesses, you are not allowing them to grow into who they are, what their potential actually is. And that's really the key. So they will make it. There's always hope for our kids. And I can tell you, when they're our kids when they're teens, some of them we were like, oh no, are they even going to make it? They will. They are resilient and they will make it. Now, again, the pathway will be a little different, but they will do it.